Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Geek Out with Games Out. Second episode of our anime podcast. And as you can see, I have a very, very special guest. Our first ever special guest on the Geek Out with Games Out anime podcast, episode 2. Allow me to introduce y'all to my good longtime friend, really, really close sister from another planet. Literally. I present to you Kimchi Girl. Say what's up to everybody.
Hi.
You nervous?
A little bit, but I feel so honored. I'm your first guest, so.
Yes, indeed. You're our first guest ever on Team Geek Out with Games Out anime podcast.
Woo!
So, we're gonna have some fun today.
Yay!
Gonna get into some discussions on some good juicy anime. Now to kind of give everybody a little bit of a backstory of how we know each other, I've actually known Kimchi Girl since 2011. So
Oh, that's a long time.
we got mad history. Mad
Yeah,
history.
9 years.
And as our friendship started developing, we learned about shared interests, not only in gaming, but in anime. So I felt very strongly that she would be such an appropriate guest for this
Oh, thank you.
podcast.
Well, you did take me to my first convention, so.
Oh yes, that was Animazement. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what year it was off the top of your head?
2014.
Oh, see, she came
Yeah,
prepared.
I remember.
She came prepared. So, it was interesting with that because our good friend Omar was with us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so Kimchi Girl came that second day. So the first day, I had a good friend of mine, a Chinese friend of mine, and to make it easier, since she wasn't able to come back for the second day, I let I got her badge and was able to give it to Kimchi Girl for the next day. So that worked out nicely. But and of course you were all about some plushies and just
It's my favorite. They're so cute. Can't help it.
can't help but to fangirl for plushies.
And that gamer's room was really big. That dealer's room.
Yes.
Um,
Uh I really, really wish you could have came to MomoCon. You want to talk about a huge dealer's room? MomoCon like triples
well,
Animazement's.
maybe next year once it's safe to do conventions again.
I know definitely the crew wants to go back to MomoCon at some point in time.
Nice.
And I figured, I mean, I don't know. Like I'd be down for next year. I'd definitely be down for next year.
And hopefully it's safe because I mean this whole con season was canceled.
Well, what was interesting was like I was kind of hesitant because two friends of ours were scheduled to get married next year, but change of plans, they actually just got married. So I figured that now kind of opens up the possibility of going on with MomoCon in
Mm-hmm.
2021. So
Let's see.
something to think about. Okay, let's get into some topics. So I'm gonna ask you some questions, and you just comply to the best answers that you feel.
I'll do my best.
Okay, first off, what got you into anime?
Oh. I think I didn't really know I was watching anime until I was like really young, just Saturday morning cartoons, flipping through channels. And you see like the Saturday lineups, there's like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon. I grew up on Pokemon. I know you hate it,
Oh
but
God.
Like I just like the art design of anime. It's very different from just watching a regular cartoon.
I definitely remember. So it's funny you mentioned Pokemon because I remember growing up. It was actually early in the mornings as I was getting ready to go to school. There was Sailor Moon and there was Pokemon, which I was not about some Sailor Moon. So,
See, Sailor Moon was actually probably the first anime that got me interested in like anime as art.
oh
You
really?
know,
Oh
yeah,
okay.
because I liked drawing them more than actually watching the show. I learned how to
Oh,
draw. Yeah, I learned how to draw by watching Sailor.
oh okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
My my biggest complaint with Sailor Moon, it's the different powers of Sailor Moon and the Sailor Scouts.
Yeah.
Now I remember from episodes that I've seen, you got some fairly devastating looking enemies. All that, and Sailor Moon wins battles with a dang on headband. I'm sorry. A tiara.
Hey,
Like
it,
really?
it was it was definitely geared towards girls, I think, because like everyone wants those accessories. Everyone wants like it looks aesthetically pleasing. The
Shh.
transformation, the transformation was like the key points of the episode. You know, they gotta look cute.
Man, the only thing that stood out about the transformations is the uncut version they were naked.
I don't think I've seen that version, but
Oh
I'll
yeah.
just say, yeah, I'll
Trust
I'll
me.
I'll keep my childhood, safe from that.
Yeah. Um I think Sailor Mars was probably the only one that I thought, okay, fire and fire attack, and she, knew martial arts. That was probably the only one that stood out. But
See, I liked it because every girl had their own like element and personality, so you didn't have to fit into a certain box. You could find a certain character that fits you, and not just, you know, be like one character.
okay,
Mm.
I mean that's a fair point. I will say this as well. When it comes to Sailor Moon and Pokemon, I do respect that they have a long running legacy.
Yes,
I mean,
it's nostalgia. Even now with the games still coming out.
yes, and I've played. Let's see, I've played one Pokemon game. It was Pokemon Red on the Game Boy Color. Um,
Classic.
yeah, it was so long ago, and it had like the RPG elements and everything, which I felt like they did
Mhm.
pretty well with. So I'll give credit where credit's due. Um, the only thing is, it's too kiddie for me. Like,
That hurts. That hurts.
but
That's my childhood.
the weird thing about it though, and some of the crew have kind of fought with me on this. Like, oh, a lot of them are like, it's blasphemy that I'm not a Pokemon fan. Um,
I,
but it's like I don't like Pokemon, but I like World of Final Fantasy. And World of Final Fantasy, that game, the way it's played and with the different it's kind of like Pokemon.
mm.
So I mean, I see their point. I do kind of see their
Well,
point.
I mean, we grew up with it. That was like a Saturday morning like lineup. You wake up and you watch Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh. There was Digimon, but I wasn't really that big of a Digimon fan.
Hmm.
I mean, like these are childhood cartoons that like we grew up watching, so I can see why you're kind of like not into it as much because you probably had other preferences.
Well, now me personally, what really kicked it off for me was Dragon Ball Z.
I was
Like,
gonna say like there's hardcore DBZ fans. I didn't get into Dragon Ball until like super late compared to others. So.
well, you actually got into Dragon Ball at some point.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I feel like if you're gonna know anime, you have to know the classics. So I kind of forced myself to watch through some of it.
Interesting.
Mm.
I guess you just like and the long time that I've known you, I guess Dragon Ball just doesn't seem like an anime I would think you'd ever be interested in.
See, I watch it because everyone knows about it. I feel like it's important to at least watch it. I didn't really love it. Don't hate me, but I mean,
I see.
eh.
Um, just out of curiosity, how much did you see? Like, did you see a whole series, or did you see a whole season, or like?
Yeah, I saw probably I couldn't finish the whole series. I know people are gonna like hate me for that. I just couldn't. I don't have time to sit through a whole series anymore.
It's long.
But yeah. So I got through maybe like 3, 4 seasons, and it was like, mhm. Let me tell you, I didn't really get into anime until my best friend. Um, she was. We were both really introverted, and we both loved drawing anime. So she just turned on any kind of anime, and we watched it.
Hmm.
And it was Yu Yu Hakusho.
Okay, a great
And
one.
that was my first and like really big favorite anime that I had to watch start to finish. And even now, I can watch over and over.
Very nice.
Like,
Very nice.
yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I still have to finish it. I never finished it.
I finished it maybe like for the first time like 2 years ago. And since then, I was like mind blown because they stopped airing it on cable.
Yeah, and they're actually re-releasing the series on Blu-ray little by little,
Ooh.
because apparently now for a lot of these classic animes, they've done a release, but they're turning around and doing like a anime like essentials, anime classic sort of
It is
repackaging.
to me it is essential and classic. So it makes sense.
Yeah, like it's crazy just the number of a lot of these releases. Like they're about to release a steelbook version of Cowboy Bebop, my all-time favorite anime.
Ooh.
But it's like I got Cowboy Bebop, I have it autographed, so it's like, I don't.
You can't beat the autograph.
Yeah, I mean, and I got that autographed by Steve Bloom and Shinichiro Watanabe, so it's
Yeah.
like that's like double
Yeah.
the awesomeness. But okay, so Sailor Moon got you into to drawing anime. Um, so I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. Next question: what if there has been an anime that you've seen that made you cry?
Uh, Studio Ghibli movies make me cry. Grave of Fireflies make me cry. That one instantly. But Attack on Titan.
Really,
I
Attack
had
on
to,
Titan?
yeah, I had to stop watching the last season they released because I just got so emotional. It's so real to me. If you haven't watched it, you really need to watch it. It's so
Oh
good.
yeah,
So,
I'm still waiting on. Well, they're gearing up to start showing season 4. And that'll be the final
yeah.
season.
So I'm like bracing myself to rewatch the last season just because I know I'm gonna cry through it. It gets a little depressing because you get so emotionally invested in the characters and they die.
Yeah, like,
So,
and then just like finding out like the major titans, which I mean, the colossal titan and the armored titan wasn't too difficult to figure
not
out.
yeah, not surprising.
Um, but like, still, to be honest, still to this day, season 1's my favorite because
Me too.
I felt like it was the most action packed.
It was the most like I think me and my sister were binge watching it, and only half the season came out, and she's not really into anime.
Hmm.
But even she was like, when's the next episode? And we would watch it every week. Like
Yeah,
we couldn't wait. So,
but for me, I would have to say, "Ah, my goddess."
oh, I think I've only read the manga.
Oh, the anime. Now I've only seen the first season, which the second season is Flights of Fancy, but
Mm.
I've seen the first season all the way. So one of my former coworkers back when I was at Atomic Games slash Destinier Studios, he had the series burned on discs,
Oh, okay.
so he had let me borrow it, and that was how I got introduced to Ah My Goddess.
Oh, that's old school.
And I won't ever forget. It was the episode where Belle Dandy was about to leave to go back into heaven because she felt, she wasn't needed anymore. And
Mm,
that was around the time where she was really starting to fall in love with Kenichi or Keiichi,
oh,
Keiichi Morisato. And he rushed back to the ship where was one of her favorite spots because of looking out into the ocean and then the sun. And then he had begged for her. He had apologized to her for being such a jerk to her, and he had begged for her to stay and be by her side forever. And then
mm.
she was in tears, and they just embraced, and I couldn't hold it in. I couldn't hold it in.
Sounds like it reminds me of another anime that made me cry, but it was um see, I'm a sucker for like the romance storyline.
Hmm.
It was Toradora, I think. Yeah.
I've heard of Toradora, but I've never
Uh,
seen it.
God, I forget all the character names because I watched it like a few years back, but it was just like there's a little love triangle involved, and I think I cried because so there's two best friends. This girl, like these two girls are best friends, and the main character like one of the girls who's like really sweet and smart, and the
Yeah.
other girl's a little rough around the edges. And so it starts off with the best friend who's the kind of the bully. She
Okay.
she kind of helps him make her best friend fall in love with her,
Oh.
but she ends up getting feelings for him, and at the end, it's like I feel bad for spoiling it, but like she like the other girl actually liked him the whole time,
Okay.
but because she sees that the relationship between the her best friend, the bully girl, and the guy are like developing, she like relinquishes her feelings for him and tells him to go after her.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and it's so like it's dramatic. It's a high school like slice of life drama, but it was just like to have feelings for someone and to like relinquish them because you care about them more than you care about your own feelings. I thought that was powerful, so I cried.
That had to have been hard to do. Like just
Hmm.
being put into that situation.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I like
Um
romance though.
yeah. So would you say romance is like the top of your list?
Mm, no, I like character development and storylines, so I need a little bit of act. Slice of life is like a break from what I usually watch because I usually watch animes like sort of online. I got into Re Zero because they're doing a second season this year,
Okay. Yep.
and so like those are the kinds that I typically get into because it's more action based and you can um like I like um animes that like the character develops over time. Like Bleach was one of the big animes I got into
Okay.
because I like how you get stronger, you up in power and things like that. I like to see the character grow over time.
Yeah, I definitely dig how a lot of animes that have a focus on that have done really well. One that comes to mind, Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple.
Mm,
Like how they how well they developed Kenichi throughout the series was phenomenal. And I know the manga went further than the anime, but
yeah, I've been reading the manga. I haven't really.
I see. Yeah, the anime's good though. The anime's really good. Like I watched the whole entire series when it was on Hulu,
Ooh.
but that was oh man, that was years ago. Yeah, that was years ago.
I think
Um,
Netflix is taking over a lot of the animes
yeah, like, and I've actually built my queue quite a bit, which leads me into my next question. How do you watch your anime? What platforms?
I have, well, we have a lot of options. If it's on Hulu, I kind of like that a little more just because I can binge it easier. Um, because I'm not the type to wait every week for an episode.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's new and I'm really invested, I have a Crunchyroll account.
Okay.
Have to have that. Um, so Hulu and Netflix now because they're coming out with like some Netflix exclusive ones, which some of them aren't bad.
Oh yeah. Carolyn Tuesday was one of my
Mm.
favorites that I really really enjoyed. Also directed by Shinichiro Watanabe. Um, for all music lovers out there, if you love music, Carolyn Tuesday is perfect. Um, for me, Netflix, Hulu, VRV, which of course has Crunchyroll,
Mm.
Funimation, which I did not think, like, I contemplated getting a Funimation account because back when VRV started, Funimation was in that list of
Mm.
premium channels, but then they ended that contract I think about a year or so later.
Yeah, we used to have a separate Funimation account, but I didn't watch enough on its separate subscription to want to keep it long term.
I see. Yeah, it was maybe for me it was maybe like 4 or 5 months ago that I
Mm.
went ahead and started a Funimation account. I did the yearly subscription because I like doing the yearly option. Just one fee, don't have to pay it again until the following year. I like that. I wish Hulu
Yeah.
and Netflix and VRV had that option, but
Netflix doesn't have that option?
nah. I wish it
Uh,
did. I really wish it did. But I have to say, over the years, my queue has been pretty much the biggest on VRV.
mm.
Um, it's a pretty decent size on Netflix. It's kind of small on Hulu now.
They took out a lot of good ones on Hulu. I think I only watch right now. I started watching Sword Art Online to catch up for the next season, and One Punch Man was the only other one.
Ooh, One Punch Man.
I really like One Punch Man.
Yeah, One Punch Man was awesome. It was definitely awesome, and
So
I really liked the number of heroes they've expanded in the second season.
yeah.
So, speaking of which, have you seen Mob Psycho 100?
I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it.
If you like One Punch Man, I think you'll like Mob Psycho 100
Hmm.
because
I see
it's
it
by the same
on
people.
I see it on my on my recommendation list all the time, but I never get into it.
Yeah, it is.
So,
It is really good. I especially like the opening theme in season one. Really, really good.
ooh.
But same art style, same folks behind One Punch Man did Mob Psycho 100. So definitely,
Oh,
I second that. I recommend that as well.
nice.
But but yeah, like I think lately now I've been mostly on Funimation because currently I'm watching Assassination Classroom and I just finished season two.
I wanted to start getting into that. I wanted to know if it was any good.
Oh, it is great. It's funny. It's got good action. The story really takes quite a turn along the way. So
Huh.
it's definitely something to check out. I highly recommend Assassination Classroom.
I I pick animes. This is gonna be really sound really mean, but I pick animes to watch based on the art style. If you can get me with like aesthetics, like how it looks, if I like it, I'm gonna start watching it.
Really? Like
Yeah.
that's like the main basis.
For recent ones, yes. I'm trying to not feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was Netflix. The only one that I'm watching on Netflix right now is Hunter x Hunter, which is really good. Um, but it's not my typical art style.
I see.
So,
Um, Next question. You had mentioned Studio Ghibli. Um,
hmm
what are some of your favorite Studio Ghibli movies?
there's so many I haven't seen yet, but I would have to say, based on nostalgia alone, Kiki's Delivery Service because it was the first one I ever watched,
Nice.
and I don't know, it just that one has to be my favorite so far.
Okay.
Because it's just like I could rewatch it and think back to my childhood, and I think watching it with Benji, my son, is like the
Mm-hmm.
best.
Yeah.
It's
That
super age appropriate.
definitely in my top five when it comes to Studio Ghibli movies. I know that Spirited Away, which
Spirited Away too. Spirited Away is my second because like I watched it even in school. My art teacher recommended watching it because we were getting into anime.
oh,
Yeah,
nice. That's a good
yeah.
teacher. Um, I've heard that there's actually a place in Japan that resembles the Spirited Away. You know that pagoda.
hmm
Like I hear there's a place in Japan that's like themed from Spirited
Yeah,
Away.
yeah, they do.
Oh, I would love to check that out
I want to go visit.
because that was definitely art style wise. Definitely Spirited Away was a huge step up. You know, and My Neighbor Totoro, which My Neighbor
I still
Totoro.
have I haven't seen that one yet.
What? I got you that Totoro
I
plushie and you haven't
know.
even seen the movie. Shame
I'm
on you.
my bad.
Wow.
It's cute though. I like the Totoro plushie.
You still got to see the movie though.
I know I do.
You need to put that at the top of your queue.
I do. I need to watch a lot of them.
But then again, this is coming from me, and I haven't seen a lick of My Hero Academia or yeah. It's in my queue. It's
Jason,
in my queue. It's in my
you
queue.
better press play. You gotta press play.
Well, I gotta finish up Assassination Classroom.
But
But yeah,
priorities, Jason.
I know the deal. I know the deal. But but yeah, I'd say for me definitely Kiki's Delivery Service, Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away.
Mm,
Um, Porco Rosso was surprisingly good. That one really caught me off guard. I saw that in the theater. That one caught me off guard. I did not think that was going to be any good, and it was excellent.
I
So,
like movies like that that
so,
surprise you.
so I highly recommend Porco Rosso. Um, The Cat Returns was good, but it was too
Mm,
short.
mm.
It was too short. It felt literally like a 50-minute movie. So, I mean, it was unique, but just it felt really short. Um, Whisper in the Heart was surprisingly good too.
I want to watch that one. That one's I've contemplated just buying that one this week because I heard it's so good.
Yeah, yeah, it was good. It was definitely good. But I'd have to say probably the weirdest one, the Tale of the Princess Kaguya.
Oh.
The art style, it's so hard to you know how like those old school calligraphy pictures that had like
Yeah.
the it's kind of like that. It's all good. So, the Tale of Princess Kaguya, like
Mhm.
very unique art style.
I agree. I like the story. I did not really like the art style.
Yeah, it wasn't what I expected. Definitely wasn't what I expected. But the story, the story just the story was interesting. It was really interesting. That's another one I saw in the theater as well.
I think the first time, I think I felt that way, like the same way you feel when I watched Castle in the Sky.
Oh, you
Um,
didn't like Castle in the Sky?
no, I liked it. I just like it. The art style was a little different for me at the time,
Okay.
and because the story that was so good, I just like I forgot all about it. And
Ah,
yeah,
fair enough. Fair enough.
and I like it's one of the ones I can rewatch over.
I see. Yeah, Castle in the Sky. I don't know. That one and Howl's Moving Castle is,
Mm,
some similar name, I guess. But yeah, there Castle in the Sky was it was pretty neat for what it was. It's probably another one that I should go back and watch as well. But also kind of want to shift gears to Makoto Shinkai movies. Your Name, Weathering with You. Um, by chance,
I
have you
need
seen those?
I need to see those, especially Your Name. Weathering with You doesn't sound as like as enticing to me if I had to pick one or the other.
I'll
But
I'll say this because I've seen both in the theaters, and Weathering with You is the most recent one.
mhm.
Your Name is phenomenal. I've seen it twice in the theater.
Nice.
Um, Once was with AJ. Um, Phenomenal. I still need to actually go back and watch it in English because both times I watched it in
Mm,
subtitled. Beautiful art style. Story story can be kind of hard to catch the first time, so you may have to watch it two more times or so, but still really good. Still really good. Weathering with You, great art style as well. Story was extremely weird, and the outcome was, let's just say, you could tell it was is Japanese. You could tell it's Japanese. That's I'll leave it at that. But I mean, it's still pretty good though. It's still pretty good.
mm.
I wouldn't pick it over Your Name, but it's still good. I mean, they're gonna be releasing it on Blu-ray in like I think this fall, and I'm gonna definitely get it.
That's what people say. Like if you had to pick one or the other, they pick Your Name, which is why I was more interested, like buying that one.
Yeah. Now they did some great effects when they did the rain and all that. Like the art style, like you can tell it's from the same folks, but
Mm.
just the story the story is either going to make you disappointed or it's going to make you awkward.
Awkward.
I'll
With-
I'll say this without spoiling anything. I'll say this. There are folks that are just willing to do anything for love.
Mm.
I'll just leave it at that.
Well, that makes sense. I watched. I was. I started watching. I haven't finished it yet because I've been distracted. But I started watching, Firework on Netflix. Fireworks,
The
the movie.
movie?
Yeah, I think that's what it's
Oh.
called. That
Did you actually like that?
no, that's why I
Okay, I was
haven't
about to
finished it.
say.
That's why I haven't finished it because I was like, I can't handle this. This is too much.
Oh, that movie was. I regret seeing that in the theater.
I haven't finished it because I'm like, oh, it is hard to
It
get through an hour.
it's terrible. Like I was hyped about it because of the trailer,
Mm.
but and then they had that one time. They had like a one or two time showing in the theater, so I figured why not? Hey, I've been doing this with Studio Ghibli Fest, so why not? Oh my goodness, I regret it.
See, the trailer made it sound so enticing and so good, and I'm like 30 minutes in, and I'm like, this is the movie I got excited about.
Yeah, it
And
was. Oh, it was such a huge letdown. So, but yeah, unfortunately, you know what? That leads me into the next question. What animes, series, or movies have you seen that disappointed you the most?
I think Fireworks takes the cake because I usually don't get disappointed.
Yeah. Um.
I'm very picky, so if I start watching a series, I know it's highly recommended by the majority of my friends.
Oh, okay.
You know,
You
so I
so you
have
you do your
yeah,
homework in the first place.
yeah.
I
Like I
see.
don't get I prepare myself to not be disappointed. So Fireworks was just one that I was like, oh, let me pick one just to watch it, and then definitely disappointed.
Yeah. That makes two of us. I'd have to say there's three in particular. One was Fireworks. Second was I was really disappointed with the Devil May Cry series.
Mm.
As big of a fan as I am of the game, the series I tried my best because it was only 13 episodes.
Yeah,
I
I'm avoiding that one because it was short. Yeah.
I I tried my best to get through the whole series, but at episode 7 I was like I can't do it. I can't do it. I it did not feel like Devil May Cry.
Mm.
Like Dante was there and all, but it just did not feel like Devil May Cry. So
Oh, that's the worst feeling when you get all excited and
yeah, so that anime was such a huge letdown. And the biggest disappointment, the series that disappointed me the most, I'm even shocked to this day that I even got through the series, was Kaze no Stigma.
never heard of that one.
Oh my goodness, that anime is trizash. And the sad thing is, a good friend of mine that's also into anime, he likes that, but he hates Attack on Titan. That makes no
But,
sense to me.
but Attack on Titan is so good. Uh, that
Well,
reminds me of a series that I haven't finished because I'm kind of disappointed in how it developed. Is Fairy Tale.
now, Fairy Tale I've heard is either hit or miss with some people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that like love it and recommend it. So I was like, sure, yeah, okay. Nope, can't finish it, can't get through it, can't sit through it. Mm-mm.
Because there's also some folks that say the same thing about Seven Deadly Sins as well.
I like that series though.
Yeah, but I actually know a handful of folks that like did not like that series whatsoever. So
Mm.
yeah, um, but like Kaze no Stigma, like one of the main characters is supposed to be the inheritor of Reinhardt, a really fancy fire sword, but yet the character's like a little sissy. I'm like,
That's mean.
I'm she doesn't fight back until like near the end of the series. Kind of late for that.
There's always a character like that. Like I feel like when I watch Naruto, I get mad at Sakura for the whole series.
Yeah, but
So
did it take that character that long to show up?
the thing is, yes, because she's like so powerful, but she doesn't use any of her power. So if they're a team like Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, she's in the background, not doing much. And it wasn't until like the late end of the series where she decides to finally develop some like major healing powers and skills and be helpful in battle. But she's like super strong. So I'm like, why doesn't she just beat someone up? I don't get it. It's a waste of
Yeah.
strength.
No, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. I mean,
But instead, she's kind of like sitting like a damsel because she likes one of the characters. She's like always asking for him, and I'm like, no, you're strong enough to beat him. Like, be your own hero. But no,
yeah, but yeah, like I feel you on that. But I just oh my goodness, I lashed out when it came to Kaze no Stigma because I felt like I wasted all that time. Like I said, I'm shocked I even made it through the whole series. Like, oh my god.
that's commitment. I give a series like half a season to get me into it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or someone has to recommend it with me and watch it with me. Because if I have to suffer, someone has to keep me going. So,
Next question. What was the last series that you binged watched through?
completely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on the last um season of Sorta Online right now,
Okay.
but before that was Food Wars.
Really?
I like Food Wars.
Okay.
I love cooking also, so that helps.
I've heard Food Wars is good,
Mm.
so that's admirable.
I like the story.
Um, I have to say, for me, this was actually a long time ago, but the TV series of Rurouni Kenshin.
That was one of my favorites on Adult Swim. I stayed up so late to watch it.
So, funny story about Rurouni Kenshin. I actually own the TV series and the OVAs.
Uh-huh.
So Animazement. This was maybe oh my goodness, what year was this? I think this was '09. Yeah, it was '09. And this was at the dealer's room, and I had looked browsing around the different areas, and I noticed each of these areas had the complete, like, wrapped, never open, complete series TV series of Rurouni Kenshin, but
Mm.
they were charging like 150 to $200
Oh, they're
for it.
expensive.
Yeah, because I mean it's kind of rare as well, because it was also very expensive on Amazon as well. And I wasn't really too familiar with a lot of eBay at the time, so I didn't think to look much into eBay.
Yeah.
But it was like one booth after the other. It was like the same similar price. But later that day, I believe this was Friday of that year. I went and I was getting ready to head up the escalator to go to, like, I guess another panel, and there was another booth that had this. It was like some old Asian lady there, and it was wrapped up, never opened, and I was just looking because I didn't see a price tag, and I was just like, well, I mean, it's probably going to be the same price anyway, so let me, I mean, but it doesn't hurt to ask. So I was like, excuse me, miss, how much is this? She said 90. I was like, what?
Take it.
She was like, $90. I was like, sold. I'll get this right here, right now. it
That's a steal.
it was literally, I spent literally like almost the last half of the money that I had, but it was I I
It's
I,
worth it.
I couldn't pass that up. I couldn't pass it up.
I also
One
learned
fifty 200 compared to 90. That's a big difference.
I also learned that the dealer's room has a habit of taking all my money.
Yeah. I've owned a few times almost cleared a paycheck or two from the
More
dealer's
on
room.
two.
Like, yeah, cause like you see something and it's like, deep down inside you're not gonna see it again. You're not gonna see it again, and if you see it again, it's like forever later.
I got the last copy of Attack on Titan on Blu-ray that they sold at in Amazement that year that you took me.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
I got the last one. It was like I think it was around $100, like 90 to 100, but it was worth it because I gifted it to my now husband, so
Ah, yes. Our
who never watched it before. So I made him watch it by sending him the copy.
smart move. Smart move. But so yeah, that year bought Rurouni Kenshin complete series, and at the time, unfortunately, I was unemployed about a month after that, so I got through the whole entire series in under a month.
That's good though. It's such a good series.
Like, I just binged, like, I did a disc a day. I did a disc a day.
So much so.
Yeah, but it was 3 seasons, and each each season the case had like 5 or 6 or 7 DVDs.
It's a really long series.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what? I mean, I ain't working, so hey. But so yeah, Rurouni Kenshin. And the thing is, I'm hit or miss when it comes to binge watching because at the age I am now, it's just having such a big backlog between gaming and anime. It's hard sometimes to binge
It's a
watch something.
commitment.
Yeah, because
Like before this year, the last time I binge watched was when I was pregnant, and my we watched Naruto Shippuden and the other Naruto series, like from the beginning to end.
wow,
Yeah. Cannot for the life of me get into Boruto. Don't make me. Can't do it.
really?
Yeah, not interested.
Hmm.
The art style is so different, and it's just. It was hard to get through Shippuden in the beginning for me, and it's kind of that feeling with Boruto now.
Oh, for
So
real?
yeah, so that's why I haven't gotten into it. So eventually, maybe I will binge it when it's all out. But
Right on, right on. Um, Next question. How do you feel about mecha?
I'm sorry, I don't know what that is.
So, mecha is like Gundam, Eureka 7, you know,
Okay,
that
okay.
yeah, that's what was
So
considered mecha.
okay, so I didn't know they had like a category for it because I did grow up watching Gundam, and my friend actually started building some
Oh,
lately.
the Gundam model
Yeah.
kits?
Mm-hmm. And I didn't know that they still had those. So I'm very interested to start building my own. So
Yeah. And that's one thing animation and just conventions do really well at selling Gundam model kits of different varieties.
I want to go to like different countries and see what kinds they
I would love to go to
have.
Japan to see the big, huge one, the
Yeah.
original Mobile Suit Gundam. That would have been cool. But Gundam Wing started it out for me.
Mm.
Of course, through Toonami, and that's now that I think about it, a part of me feels like for the longest time, if it wasn't for Toonami, I probably wouldn't have gotten into anime until like way, way later. Like maybe until like
Right.
my 20s.
Right. I think like Toonami, like when the Cartoon Network had their own things after school, and also like Adult Swim at nighttime. Like that was when I really got into anime.
Yeah. Like, I know that, Dragon Ball Z I knew before because,
Hmm.
it used to come on Saturday mornings. And, at the time, I didn't really understand the concept of an alarm clock. So I just had to force myself to wake up or either tell my mom to wake me up at 6 in the morning so I could turn on the TV and watch. But but yeah, that's one of the things that I really enjoyed just going through high school because after school, Toonami was on all the time, and that just really was what got me shrouded in anime.
I actually stumbled through anime accidentally. I think really early on, and I didn't even realize. Like this was before I got into Pokemon because like we couldn't afford game consoles. But I woke up super early on a Saturday morning, and my mom said go back to sleep for a few hours, and then we'll have breakfast. I couldn't go back to sleep, so I turned on the TV, and Cardcaptor Sakura's on,
Nice.
and I was like, I like this because the girl's like around my age, and I was just like, this is so magical. I've never seen anything like this. And next thing you know, I ignored my mom for like the next 3 hours watching whatever cartoon lineup was
Oh, jeez. You
on.
You know they did another series of that, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's on my backlog, but I haven't decided when to start it
I still need to finish the original series, but I got the original series on Blu-ray, so
yet. Oh.
yeah. So I just got to get. I have that. I just got to get the second series and then the movies. I don't have the movies,
Oh
so
yeah, I haven't seen any of the movies in a long time.
yeah. There's two, I believe, two movies.
Yeah. Hmm.
So one thing that I've been kind of big on is like if I see an anime and I end up really enjoying an anime, either after I finish it or maybe middle of the way, I'll invest in a physical copy of it. Um, are you one that's an avid anime collector, or do you mainly just stick to streaming, digital, like
Um, I mostly stream.
mostly stream? Okay.
Yeah.
The last time I bought a series was for Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I think for nostalgia purposes and oh, oh sorry. I think yeah, I just wanted to get into my main purpose for getting the series was so I could watch it with Benji, but I mean it came out on Netflix this year, so that kind of defeated the purpose.
Ah, fair point. Fair point.
Oh.
But yeah, it's. I mean, it's a common thing because I know streaming. It's easier access.
Hmm.
Um, I know. I've always been a fan of like extras,
Ooh.
which some releases have done a really great job with extras,
Yes.
and just I don't know. I just try to support as
I'm not
much as I can.
I'm not into the extra, but I am into behind the scenes.
You're into behind the scenes, okay?
Yeah. I like knowing how they came up with the concept and why they came up with it or how it's made, what like how many people are on the team, things like that.
Right on, right on.
Like one of the animes that's coming out like I think later this week or next week was originally a webtoon on the Line app, webtoon. And
Oh,
they made a Crunchyroll deal and it's like I read it every day because it posts every day, but it's now turning into an anime. It's called God of High School.
never heard of it.
See, yeah, it's like the creator is a Korean person, and it's he
Oh,
and like he basically sold his idea and the characters to Crunchyroll to develop it into an anime that's releasing next week.
wow.
Yeah,
That does
and
sound pretty cool.
there's almost 500 little chapters he wrote already. So
Oh, very, very neat. Very
that's
neat.
what I'm forward to see how it either stays with what I've read or if it deviates a little bit. I'm very curious.
Right on. Um, do do you have like a favorite like production company, or is there like any particular voice actor or actress that you're a big fan of? Anything specific like that?
No, I try to keep an open mind with that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. 'Cause, I don't know. Like I think it's kind of unfair to say just because you like a voice actor that you should like everything that they do, if that makes sense. I don't want to be biased just because I'm a fan of someone's work.
Oh, I totally agree. Like, I'm a huge Shinichiro Watanabe fan, but I did not like Terror in Resonance. Like, I I gave that maybe a 2 or 3 episode try.
Mhm.
I wasn't feeling it. I
That's
really
how you
wasn't feeling it.
only sit through 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah. And Of course he's done Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Kids on the Slope, Carol and Tuesday,
Mm.
Space Dandy. All were excellent. And I've met the guy twice. But Terra in Resonance was just it just was horrible. Like I could not get into it. And
That's how I feel about Studio Ghibli because they're releasing their first like 3D animation. I think later this year.
oh,
I saw like the art style for it, and I'm disappointed because Studio Ghibli is all about hand drawn.
I see what you're saying.
So I'm disappointed, but I will give it a shot to watch it just because I'm a fan of everything that Studio Ghibli has done so far.
That's understandable.
But I'm not excited.
It's kind of the same way that I feel about this upcoming Cowboy Bebop live action series. I'm not looking forward to it, but I told myself I will give it a 3 episode trial period.
I want to give it a chance.
If I am not impressed, if I'm not hooked by the end of episode 3, not going any further. Because it's already bad enough that there's even a live action adaptation of this, where lately live action adaptations have been crap.
Live action scare me. Remember how they did Avatar?
Oh jeez. You remember what they did with Dragon Ball?
Yeah, I didn't want to say that one because that one was worse than Avatar.
That was a dumpster fire. I mean,
own.
like there's just certain things you just don't touch. You just leave it be. They did that with Dragon Ball, did that with Death Note. Although I will say Death Note could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
But it still was kind of bad. Ghost in the Shell. I refuse to watch Ghost in the Shell live action.
Watching it.
Like, out of all the people you could have gotten to play Motoko Kusanagi, you got Scarlett Johansson.
I see why, because, anime characters are, they want to be busty, they want to be... I'm not impressed with her work, and I don't really see her portraying the character.
I mean...
the way to imagine her, so...
they could have gone with somebody better. And then they're getting John Cho to play Spike Spiegel in the Cowboy Bebop. Like, who thinks of this?
I like him, though. I'm a fan of him. So that's the only reason why I'm giving it a chance. But I have a feeling I'm already going to be disappointed.
But to play Spike Spiegel, like, I remember watching an interview that he did. He didn't even look like he even knew what the heck Cowboy Bebop was about. And he and he seemed disinterested. And I'm like, really? I could see probably why Shinichiro Watanabe probably doesn't want to have anything to do with this.
It's probably not his idea anyway. It's just a cash grab.
And not only that, the music. If I don't hear any of the seat belts or any sort of good jazz or anything like that, then it's already a bust. It's already a bust.
I think I'm preparing to be disappointed.
Like, I already hate the idea. But like I said, and I've argued with some friends about this, and they some of them are with me, others think I'm crazy, but it's like you see the history of these live action reboots.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think so far from what I've heard, and I haven't seen this yet, the Rurouni Kenshin live action, I was told, was the only one that seemed all right.
Yeah.
But like they did Attack on Titan, which I heard was crap.
Yeah. That I was gonna mention that just now. The Attack on Titan one disappointed me.
They did Full Metal Alchemist. They even did Bleach.
Yeah. Wait, don't mess up Bleach for me. They're actually bringing it back. I heard.
Oh jeez. It's like there's certain greats that you just let them be great and you don't alter them. Don't fix what ain't broken. And I'm just really on edge about this Cowboy Bebop live action. But I'll be fair for the sake of the fact that I am a fan of
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop and it's my all-time favorite anime. I will give it 3 episodes. And if I am not hooked, I will not go an episode further.
I feel like you can tell if it's a live action. You can tell in the first episode whether you're gonna handle a second one or not.
You're most likely right, but I'm a be fair. I'm a be fair, as fair as I can be, because folks are gonna be like, you only just saw 1 episode.
Hey, sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes the one episode is the reason why you like the anime in the first place. So
True, but I just, oh my goodness. And if folks are like, oh, they're showing the first episode in the theater, no, no, no. I don't care if unless you pay for my ticket and snacks. No.
that's expensive. I'm sorry, but like it
Shoot.
might be fun to trash on it together because like you could get like a crowd full of reactions.
Speak. Speaking of reactions, so I saw Weathering with You in the theater with coworkers, and one of my coworkers' reaction, like with the ending and everything, he went off in the theater. He went off, like he was swearing up a storm and just it was entertaining. It was very entertaining. So the first thing was, so when we pre-registered and got our tickets, we were supposed to get the dubbed version, but they ended
Mhm.
up playing the subtitle version, which we ended up getting reimbursed. So we
That's
we got free movie tickets out of it. So there was that, and for like the first I think 15 or 20 minutes there was no sound. Yeah. So yeah, that it was already kind of a lackluster experience, but still the movie was good, and I was kind of thankful then with the subtitles because at least we could see what was being said.
mm.
So
I think the only time I saw the anime of any kind in a movie theater was when Sword Art Online came with that movie.
oh, okay.
I liked it. I liked it because before the movie started, they did like the voice of Kirito and Asuna did a little background of like interview of like why they like the series and how they see their storyline of like their love story progressing and things like that.
Yeah.
So I appreciated. I was a it was a fun experience for me.
Very good, very good. Um so last question. So what are there any particular series or just anything in general that you are looking forward to or that you really want to see more of when it comes to anime or just anything specific in the future?
That's a loaded question.
Yep.
I don't know. I think for me as a viewer, since everything that we want to see in the future, they're already developing it. I just like to be surprised. I don't expect to see something. I always just like to be surprised. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because like I think after I realized how much goes into animation and anime in general, I just appreciate the hard work someone puts in to developing a good series.
Yeah.
The art, storyline, music, I like all of it. So if I can appreciate the series when it comes out, I'm already just grateful because they're that smart to think of it in the first place. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I know for me, like production and release of anime, especially like when it comes to physical copies. Like I'm definitely like there was a lot that was announced. Like
Mm.
I'll give you an example. Ninja Scroll the series. They are for after so many years, they're finally re-releasing that, and it's going to be on Blu-ray.
Ooh.
That and Inuyasha. Inuyasha is
Gosh,
finally
I'm excited for that one.
yes. Inuyasha is finally coming to
Mhm.
Blu-ray. It took way too long, but it's finally coming to Blu-ray.
Well, they're doing another series. It's with Inuyasha. This like I think they're coming out with something new with that, aren't they?
Like a reboot or something.
Not a, it's a different series, but it's like a semi continuation.
Like after the final act.
I have to look it up again. I don't. But they are doing something with Inuyasha again.
Interesting.
It's a different. It's gonna be different, but yeah.
Wow. Interesting. But I was really happy that that's finally coming to Blu-ray. That, you know, it was like the same happiness that I had when Outlaw Star finally came to Blu-ray. Because Outlaw Star is easily in my top 5. But
See, I'm not that much of a collector, so I can't really appreciate when they release physicals.
well, you're more sold on digital. And
No, it's that I don't have the space to collect all of them.
oh,
Yeah.
but and I feel like there's certain series that I really just wish when they re-release weren't so expensive. Like Sword Art Online.
Mm.
Like the box sets are expensive. They're crazy expensive.
Popular. That's why they like. That's also why I'm not into collecting because it's like you're overpaying.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous. And some of them are hit or miss because of the the quality.
Yeah.
That was the reason why the Ghost in the Shell, when they brought some of the Ghost in the Shell to Blu-ray, it bombed because of the quality of the Blu-rays. That's why I ended up getting Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex seasons 1 and 2 on DVD because the Blu-ray versions of those were terrible quality. It was such a disappointment too because I wanted those on Blu-ray badly. So I don't know. I just hope that's something that they really avoid going forward because, like, you know, I want to be able to get like each of the anime that I enjoy that I don't have, you know, physical copy. And I'm
That's like
actually
I'm not like you where I can spend that much money and justify it. I don't know.
you're just not there yet.
Yet.
Yeah, be
I think
optimistic.
yeah, because I'm more into collecting like mangas
Yeah,
and like the graphic novels as a collection as opposed to animes. I don't know why, but
understandable. It's definitely understandable. But cool. Well, that was quite some excellent discussions. And once again, it was really, really good having you on here. Uh, can we
I,
hope that you maybe possibly will be returning?
well, if you want me to, maybe.
That's up to you.
Okay. Well, you know how to reach me, so I'll gladly help out when I can, if I can.
Cool, cool. Next episode, we're gonna talk about hentai. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just
I was
joking.
like,
I'm just
"There, I'm
joking. I don't even watch that stuff.
I can't help you with that.
I can't help myself with that. But but thank you so much for being our first special guest, Kimchi
Thanks.
Girl. It's a honor having you. And thanks to all for watching, for joining us during this this anime podcast. I know it's been a while since we've done one, but we hope, me and the crew, we hope to be able to get back into the mix of things and make this somewhat a routine. But we all have lives and we're trying to live our lives, so be patient.
Especially during a quarantine, like pandemic. Stay safe, everybody.
Yes, please do stay safe, protect yourselves, and yeah, keep fighting the good fight. But for Blitzball Champ, for Kimchi Girl, this is another Geek Out with Games Out production. We will catch y'all later. Bye.